What if the heaviest thing you carry isn't visible to anyone else? We all know someone like Sam. On the outside, he's the rock, strong, reliable, and always in control. He's the friend you call for advice, the coworker who never misses a deadline, and the family member who seems to hold everything together. But beneath that capable exterior, Sam is quietly exhausted. Every single day, he wakes up with a heaviness in his chest, a weight that no one else can see. It's not from lifting weights at the gym or running marathons. It's the invisible burden of worries, regrets, and the immense pressure to never let anyone down. Tonight, we're going to follow Sam's story, a story that so many of us share, even if we don't talk about it. It is a story about the hidden burdens we all carry and the life-changing discovery of how to finally set them down. Sam's days were a masterpiece of managed responsibilities. He'd wake before sunrise to make breakfast for his family, fire off work emails on his morning commute, and spend his evenings helping his kids with their homework or checking in on his aging parents. To the outside world, Sam was unflappable. He always had a calm demeanor, a reassuring smile ready for anyone who needed it. But on the inside, he felt stretched thin, like a rope pulled so tight it was about to snap. His shoulders ached constantly from tension, and his mind was a buzzing hive of never-ending to-do lists. Even in those rare, quiet moments, he couldn't truly relax. There was always a nagging feeling that he was forgetting something important, that he should be doing more. The world saw a man perfectly in control, but his composure was just a mask. It was a mask hiding the deep fatigue and simmering worry that weighed him down every single day from the moment he woke up until he finally fell into a restless sleep. But Sam's hidden burdens were much heavier than any task on his to-do list. He was consumed by a constant worry about letting people down, his boss, his family, his friends, Every tiny mistake he made would replay in his mind on a loop, growing larger and more significant with each repetition. He felt a crushing guilt for the times he'd lost his temper, for promises he couldn't keep, for the simple fact that he couldn't do it all the time. The pressure he put on himself to always be the strong one meant he almost never asked for help. He was terrified that showing any sign of weakness would disappoint the very people who depended on him. This invisible load started to seep into every corner of his life. He became irritable over small things, snapping at his loved ones for no real reason. He found himself withdrawing from friends, avoiding social gatherings because they felt like just another chore. Soon his health began to suffer. He was plagued by splitting headaches, sleepless nights, and a constant, dull ache in his chest. Sam couldn't understand why he felt so completely drained, never realizing just how much emotional weight he was carrying inside. So many of us never realize what's weighing us down until it becomes too much to bear. The question was, would Sam keep struggling in silence, or would he finally discover what it means to set down his hidden burden and just breathe freely again? One evening, after another long and exhausting day, Sam tried all his usual tricks to find some relief. He scrolled aimlessly through his phone, flipped through channels on the TV, and even went for a brisk walk, hoping to clear his head. But that familiar heaviness inside him just wouldn't lift. Feeling restless, he wandered into a quiet park nearby, hoping the cool night air might offer some comfort. There, he noticed an older man sitting peacefully on a bench, reading a book under the lamplight. As Sam walked by, the man glanced up. His eyes were kind and seemed to hold a deep understanding. He appeared to sense the tension in Sam's posture, the invisible weight on his shoulders. "You look like you're carrying a lot," the man said gently. Sam was taken aback. He just nodded, unsure of what to say. The man smiled warmly and patted the empty space on the bench next to him. "I used to feel the same way," he said. "If you have a moment, I'd like to share a little lesson that changed my life." Intrigued, Sam sat down, ready to listen. The older man reached into a small bag at his feet and pulled out a worn, empty backpack and a handful of smooth, heavy stones. "Let's try something together," he said, handing the backpack to Sam. "For each worry, each regret, or each piece of guilt you're carrying, I want you to place one of these stones inside." Sam hesitated for a moment, but then, surprisingly, the words started to come. He named each burden as he dropped a stone into the bag. The stress from work, his fear of disappointing his family, the guilt over past mistakes, and the relentless pressure to always be strong. Soon, the backpack was full. "Now," the man said, "put it on and try to walk a few steps." Sam hoisted the backpack onto his shoulders. The weight was immediate and overwhelming. It pressed down on him, making every single movement a struggle. "This," the man explained, "is what happens when we carry our invisible burdens day after day. At first it's manageable, but over time it becomes completely exhausting." Sam felt the profound truth of that metaphor in his own aching muscles. The man's eyes were gentle. "You don't have to carry it all alone. Sometimes the first step to feeling lighter is simply noticing what you've been holding on to." In that simple, quiet moment in the park, a glimmer of clarity began to break through Sam's long-held confusion. The older man watched as Sam carefully slid the heavy backpack off his shoulders, a wave of relief washing over his face. "You see," he said softly, "we all carry stones. We carry worries, regrets, and guilt. But we so rarely stop to notice just how heavy they've become over time. Sometimes just naming them, like you just did, is the very first step to letting them go." He went on to explain that we can lighten our load in different ways. We can share our burdens with someone we trust. We can practice forgiving ourselves or others for past hurts. Or we can simply acknowledge what we're carrying instead of pretending it isn't there. "You don't have to set down every stone at once," the mentor continued. "That's too overwhelming. Just start with one. Maybe it's a worry you can talk about with someone. Maybe it's a regret you can finally forgive yourself for. Or maybe it's a pressure you can decide to release just for today." He encouraged Sam, and anyone listening, to choose just one invisible weight and consciously decide to set it down, even if only for a moment. It's not about dropping the whole bag, but about lightening the load, one stone at a time. In the days that followed, Sam took that advice to heart. He made a conscious effort to set down just one stone at a time. He finally opened up to a close friend about the intense pressure he felt at work. He took a quiet moment to forgive himself for a past mistake that had been haunting him for years. He even allowed himself to just rest on a Sunday afternoon without feeling guilty that he wasn't being productive. And with each small act, he felt a tangible sense of relief, as if a physical weight had truly been lifted from his shoulders. He started to notice changes. He was more patient with his family. He was more present and engaged at work. And most importantly, he became more willing to ask for help when he needed it. The crushing exhaustion that had clouded his days for so long began to fade, replaced by a gentle sense of ease and lightness. For the first time in years, Sam felt more connected, more present, and ready to move forward, no longer crushed by the invisible weight he once carried all alone. So now I want to ask you, what invisible weight are you ready to set down today? Take a quiet moment right now to notice what you've been carrying. Is it a worry, a regret, a pressure that no one else can see? I want you to give yourself permission to release just one of them, even for a little while. If you feel comfortable, share your story or your intention in the comments below. You never know who might be inspired by your journey. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe for more uplifting lessons on finding lightness and freedom in your own life. We'll see you in the next video.